Records of the hero Delita Hyrule first appear 1 year before the outbreak of the War of the Lions.
Why did you get younger? What?
The loss of the 50 Years' War saw Ivalice paying enormous reparations and ceding vast swathes of land to Ordalia, the victors. Knights and sellswords returned from the front to find their homes razed and loved ones slain. Compounding their woes, they were denied pay for their service and stripped of their livelihoods. This ill treatment led many to abandon their fealty to the crown and the nobility. Once loyal soldiers became rogues and traitors, donning the thief's cloak and plotting treason.
Yeah, the nobility doesn't care about you.
It was a time of great unrest for Ivalice. Murder and theft were commonplace. Many were the young adventurer and mage who stepped forward to counter this threat. Of these, the city of Gariland, too, saw its share. It was there that our tale began, a year earlier.
Yeah, and this is why I was talking about different voices. I wasn't sure how much younger Ramza was here, but yeah. Royal Military Academy at Gariland. This is going to be quite interesting.
Another Wayne was struck last night on its way to Egros.
Oh, that's a different spelling of Egros. Before it was Igros, I believe. Interesting. God, this is going to be so weird to go through. I had a thought in my head that I was just about to say, but now it's slipped my mind. I can't quite remember what it was.
The Corpse Brigade again.
'Tis long past the hour for drills. What is happening, I wonder? Delita, what do you suppose this is about?
Yeah, still a deeper voice than I expected, honestly. I'm trying to remember the voice for Ramza in War of the Lions, and I think it was slightly higher, because I can't quite remember how old Ramza is here, but you can't be too old.
I could hazard a guess.
Oh? Do tell.
I think Duke Larg is coming to Gariland.
Duke Larg? Why?
Not just the Duke. The Marquis Elmdor de Limbri, too.
The Marquis.
That's the first I've heard of it. This has not the sound of a state visit.
All of Ivalice is in turmoil. The Order's supposed to be keeping things under control, but the fact is, they number too few.
And they mean to bolster their numbers with us.
All right, everybody, fall in!
I remember what I was going to say earlier now. The creator or director of this had some pretty neat things to say, saying that this game came out at a very important time because it's about those at the bottom fighting against those at the top, and I'm like, yeah, it's a good game. It's a good game for that. Some good revolution and, fighting the people that subjugate you and don't care about you and are willing just to drain you of your ambition and money to just feed themselves even more. It's a good time to experience a story that's all about saying fuck you to the nobility and the rich.
The Order of the Northern Sky has an assignment for its Knight's Apprentice. As I'm sure you're already aware, the number of brigands roaming Galleon is on the rise. Among them, the Corpse Brigade, a seditious lot with a grudge against the very crown they had served. Rogues such as they must be dealt with.
Have we considered that maybe there's a reason they have a grudge against the crown?
The Order has been commanded to undertake an operation to eliminate the brigade. An operation of a grand scale. We will not be acting alone. The Order will be joined by, among others, His Excellency Duke Larg's Royal Guard. This will leave Egros Castle undermanned. Your task will be to proceed there and support us from the rear by bolstering its defenses. Remember, you represent the Academy itself. Noble or otherwise, your actions reflect upon us all.
Wow, you really had to piss off your military if you're having to get military cadets in on like a battle. Yeah, you really pissed all your people off.
Fight with honor and trust in your steel. 'Twould seem the time to take up arms is already upon you, young apprentices. I've just received word that a band of thieves, routed by our knights, flees here to Gariland, where the bustling streets will only aid their escape. We will move to stop them and finish the task of our brothers. You, young apprentices, will accompany us. This is but a squall before the storm of battle. Prepare yourselves at once. Dismissed.
All right, let's go. Guest party member, Delita.
Let's be on our way.
Guest units. At certain parts in the story, guest units will join Ramses' party. These guest units will participate in battle, but they will act of their own accord and cannot be given any instructions. So yeah, they're automatically controlled by the AI, which does do stupid things sometimes. But one benefit of guest units is, people familiar with Final Fantasy Tactics or Tactics Ogre probably know this, but when your units go down, you have a certain amount of time to revive them before they are gone forever, basically. So, yeah, you don't have to worry about that with guest characters. They just get, like, knocked out effectively, so they can't disappear, because if they disappeared, that would be weird for the story. So nice. Ah, the map and the map music. Da, da, da. The world map. You can now navigate the world map. To travel around the Ivalice, position the cursor with left stick and select a location. Moving to locations marked with blue or blue will progress the story. While on the world map, pressing X will display a list of locations. From there, you can choose your next destination, view the types of stock sold at each settlement, and other information. So that is quite useful, actually. So, battleground settlements, Magic City of Gariland, you can see. Currently they don't sell anything, but this is a good place to come when you need magic equipment later. But I think it wants me to mostly just go over here and defeat the Band of Thieves. Bow, bow, bow. Ba-na-na, na-na-na-na. Formation. Place up to 5 units. So, positioning battle members. You can now choose where to position your units for the start of battle. Before combat begins, you must decide which units to place and where. For battles that are part of the main story, Ramza cannot be removed. When selecting your party, move the cursor to a unit and press Y to view its status screen. From here, you can change the unit's job and equipment to better deal with your opponents. Hold RT to switch to tactical view. Either when selecting battle members or during battle, it provides a clear view of ally and enemy positions as well as the lay of the land. So you can do this. It looks like I can't actually see the enemies though, which is unfortunate. So you can't like kind of pre-plan by looking at everyone's stats like you can in Tactics Ogre, because that was like a really fun part of Tactics Ogre I found, was just like looking at all the enemies, seeing what their weaknesses were, seeing what you should focus on. But yeah, so we are going to select some other units. So we have Miles, Clive, Gawain, Eleanor, and Concessa, and Rihanna. So there are some stat things that I want to see if they have it in here, but some important things that we want to pay attention to specifically with the units that we're going to start using here. Their bravery and faith stats. So to give a layman's explanation for it, assuming it still works like it did in the other games, bravery is more like it dictates quite a few things, but you can basically look at it as the more physically offensive stat, and faith is the more magic-based stat. Bravery dictates like your damage with certain weapons and like your counter rate and things like that, whereas faith dictates like your susceptibility to status effects and magic damage, but also how much damage you do with those things. So faith better for mages, bravery better for someone that's going to be a physical attacker. And something else that I wanted to check is if we look at, over there in unit, the boot is their movement, the up arrow is their jump, the like dashing person is their speed, I believe. And then we have a sword, a staff, and then a little character sword and staff. So I think that's our evasion rate. The bottom ones are our evasion rate to physical attacks and magic attacks, possibly, I'm assuming, or that's just our damage resistance, possibly. Well, no, damage resistance is probably more on the left side, on the right side there. But the stat I want to pay attention to is the physical and magic stat, because something weird that Tactics did is physical and magic are gendered. So, like, a male character will be better at physical attacks which I always found dumb because then that basically meant I needed to make like all of my magicians and stuff women, and then I needed to make like all of my warriors and stuff men, which is boring because there's so many cool sprites that I've never been able to properly experience. Let's see if it happens here. It does look like they kept that. Weird. Oh, that's a bummer. I can't believe they kept that. I was hoping that was one of the things they would change. Because yeah, due to that, I mean, you don't need to, but in sort of like a min-maxy way, it's better to have, you know, the like women be like mages and stuff. Which sucks. But so choosing which characters I want to go with, we're gonna go with Clive because Clive has better Brave.
I cannot wait.
Then I definitely want Rihanna, but I think I want to put you over here.
Leave this to me.
And then who else? So, what was your faith? Faith is 64. What is your faith? 58? Okay, you're definitely more brave than Faith. So yeah, that's the best character for that, I think. Yeah, that character straight up has the highest Faith stat. So that's good. Who else I want to place is a good question. Because we could put down Miles. Let's throw down Miles, because I think the Lita will spawn over here. So we want some extra units over there. And then for the last one, I'm honestly not sure. Your bravery and faith stats are kind of bad. I think I'll go with Concessa.
Very well.
Mince battle? Yeah.
It's time.
But yeah, I don't know how much those stats are really going to matter, but it's something I want to try paying a little bit more attention to these days.
What have we here? Little moppets, is it? Our luck's turned for the better.
Yeah, this little dork. You're like first, you know, unique character fight, I guess, because you have like a different sprite.
All right, lads. Cut through these and we're as good as flint.
Well, not different sprite, but different portrait art.
Make quick work of them. And don't be leaving no squealers behind.
Defeat all enemies. That is my objective. Alright, so the leader's just going to run in as far as possible and probably get himself killed, quite frankly. Because that's what the AI do. I did find that first battle a little bit easy. Obviously, it was our first battle, but the enemies have lower HP than like.
Careful, Ramza. Remember, the well-aimed thrust pierces the mail.
Don't patronize me, Delita. We Beowulfs know our way around the battlefield.
Beowulf, was it? Heir to the noble house, Beowulf, I'd wager. Looks like we have ourselves some apprentices from the academy. Well, highborn moppets are still moppets.
Lay down your arms or die clutching them. None will mourn your passing.
I mean, I'm sure some people will mourn them, Ramza.
Is that right? You're in far over your little heads.
Alright. Well, let's move. So, one thing I do want to see. What do we have? We just have Chant. Sacrifice HP to restore the HP of an adjacent unit. Don't really like this ability, but might be kind of worthwhile to do at some point. So we're gonna go ahead and start because I am level 1 now. Like I said, experience didn't really matter before. I am going to just beat up on. You can take a little bit of a hit, Clive. Expected outcome. Once you have selected an ability and a target, the expected outcome will be displayed. Use this to predict what effect your actions might have before you make a decision. I don't know what those stars mean. Is that my crit chance? 100% chance to hit, 75% chance to crit. So yeah, you see, we got XP for that. So that's a way you kind of want to optimize in this. So before I move, how do I'm used to pressing just B, and it lets me change display. No, that's not what I want. Can you not? Here we go. This will let me select you. Because I wanted to see what your movement is. Maybe I needed to do it before I did an action? I wanted to see how far this enemy could move, because I don't want them hitting me, but I think they can make that jump and get to possibly, like, right here. So I'm going to move right here with Ramza. Here we go. I can select them like this. There we go. Yeah. You can get right there. So here's the spot I want to move with you. Alright, Ramza. Alright. Controlling allied units. In addition to Ramza, you can now also command allied units sent to battle. Instruct them wisely to ensure you emerge victorious. Fundaments. Squire Job Command. Comprises the most fundamental of all battle abilities. I have Rush and Throw Stone. So... what I could do... I think if I move right here, I can attack that character. But... I don't know if that's worthwhile or not. I think what I'm going to do is move up here. And then once again, we have to optimize. So, just gonna chuck a rock at you if you don't mind. Thank you. There's only 4 damage, but my level increased. Raising a unit's level. A unit can raise its level by earning XP in battle. When the unit gains a level, its attributes, such as HP and MP, will increase. The rate at which various attributes grow depends on the unit's job at the time of gaining a level. So this is important and something I didn't really pay much attention to when I was a kid. Because something that happened when I was a kid was I was obsessed with mastering classes, which is basically learning every single skill you possibly can on them. I would grind a ton and I wouldn't get a new class until I mastered the old one. Just because I liked the, I don't know, the dopamine of having a class completely mastered, basically. So we're gonna have to be a little bit smarter about what we do. And there's certain, jobs give you different growth stats and stuff, and we're going to try to build our characters a little bit more than I ever did when I was a child.
Nice.
Nice. Alright, so you turn that way. So, Chemist. They are our healers, at least at this particular point. Let's see what items you have. You have a dagger, leather cap, and clothing. So, we can use items. Enables the use of healing items in battle. Chemist can use items on units up to 4 tiles away. This is extremely important because, Chemist can throw items, which basically gives them a ranged heal, which is very important because when one of your characters goes down, and you need to Phoenix down them before they disappear forever, ideally being able to throw a Phoenix down is extremely important. Like you ideally want to be able to throw it. So that's why they're important right now, and that's why item use and particularly the special ability of the Chemist, which is the ability to throw items like that, is very important. Because you'll notice a lot of my other characters don't have the ability to use items. That's because we haven't equipped that ability, basically. But if I did equip it, we would only be able to use it when we're standing right beside people. This one actually has re-equip, which is neat. We can change equipment in the middle of battle. It's fun to have access to. Eat rock. My Squire job level increased. Raising a unit's job level. A unit can raise its job level by earning job XP in battle. Each job has its own level, and as the unit's different job levels increase, new jobs become available for that unit to use.
I can get even stronger.
So, much like, you know, in other games and stuff with job class systems, you want to build towards certain things, basically. Like, there's very specific build paths that, like, if you get this job to a certain level, you'll unlock the ability to play as, like, a thief or something. So, that's important. I'm going to chuck more rocks at this nerd. Thank you, Concessa. We are also going to be a little bit careful about how many units I raise. I usually don't, like, raise up a bunch of units in Final Fantasy Tactics, just because oftentimes it's a little bit pointless at times. Like later in the game, obviously, you'll want to do more of it, but a lot of battles and fights, you'll be limited to a certain amount of units. And you want those units to get as much XP as possible. So there's a little bit of a balancing act with that. Your action actually came again already. We do have 4 potions. Delita could use a little bit of a heal, so I'll chuck it to Delita. Here you go, Delita.
I'm in your debt.
There we go. Rihanna's level increased. Thank you.
Or never.
19 damage. I'll take it. I'll be just fine. Okay, Remza. So you had Chance, and that was it. I need that character to come over here. So I unfortunately can't do too much at the moment. And I want to get XP, so I'm going to go down here and Chance for you. Because I think this gives me XP. As long as they actually get healed by it. Like, that's the important thing with getting XP from healing. You can't just use a potion on someone that's full health. They do have to be missing some HP, so it thinks you're actually doing the action for a reason. So that's something else to keep in mind as well, I suppose. So you'll see me not use like potions or something on somebody unless they're missing at least 1 HP. And something I often do just to help with the kind of grinding and min-maxing that you do in this game is, I think we'll kill here. I'll buy like just a ton of basic potions from the shop and just use those for like XP and JP farming. Bye-bye. It is interesting that they all have like little things that they say. Very, very neat. Okay, and you see the little heart. So before it was a number. So basically when those run out, that character will disappear, and they'll either drop a treasure chest or like a little crystal that you can absorb to fully heal, or learn some skills that enemy knew. So those are fun. Those are quite fun. I think I'm gonna move you up here and just have you chuck a rock at the chemist. They did fall down, but it wasn't high enough to do fall damage, unfortunately. Reeve.
Now then.
Now then. 2 arms. You hear punching? You don't even have a knife, friend? I thought you were deserters from the war. Didn't you steal something like your service weapons? You should have. I mean, obviously the game is going to be quite easy now at this point, but it will get very, very difficult very, very fast. And I'm trying to be careful because of, you know, me playing on hard, because it could get very overwhelming if I'm not careful. There will absolutely be points where I will just get my ass kicked, because despite how much I've played Final Fantasy Tactics, that happened a lot, because some of the battles do get quite rough. But I am interested in seeing, you know, how much they did mess with the balance and stuff as is shown. This is kind of a bad spot for Remza to be in. But, I will attack you. If we got a crit, that would be amazing. No. I don't know what those little stars mean. You used to be able to, on the screen, press, like, a button. And then it would basically transition to, like, letting you examine each and everything that was on the screen. Maybe I'm thinking of a different game, like Disgaea or something. One of them lets you do it. Yeah, I don't know what those little 3 stars means, because the target is obviously accuracy. That's clearly not crit rate, which is what I would expect it to be, because 100% crit rate seems kind of wild, especially attacking from the front, but I don't notice an increase in damage either. So... Alright. It seems like we're mopping them up quite easily, actually. Yeah, we're having a pretty good time.
All in a day's work.
All in a day's work. This reminds me of a clip I've seen of like Fire Emblem. I think 3 Houses. That's like, it just, I think it's a ProZD video or something, where it's like Fire Emblem characters be like, it's like, yeah, I love going to school and also murder in the name of the crown or something like that, and it just plays on the idea of like 3 Houses basically sending cadets into war, and they're just so happy about murder. Like, you shouldn't be this happy about killing people. It's kind of crazy to stab someone, especially being an academy student, and just being like, oh, all in a day's work, eh? Like, jeez, unhinged behavior. Honestly. Alright, let's zoom out a little so I can see a bit better here. It's also, we have this, which is quite nice as well, I must say. So something I am going to do, which, it's not the most important thing, and it will be a little bit difficult with Delita being Delita. But, we want to leave these enemies alive until they disappear. Because I would like to get their drops and stuff. 125% is what it said, so it's definitely not crit rate. Is it potentially, like, some status thing? Like, are they weak to this particular type of weapon? Maybe? No, I don't think we have, like, specific weapon type weaknesses in this game. There's not stab, pierce, crush resistances, I don't believe. More? Weapon attack. Yeah, okay, so this does explain. Yeah, so it's physical evasion, magic evasion, cloak physical evasion, cloak magic evasion, shield physical parry, shield magic parry. Yeah, so enemies aren't particularly weak to specific weapon types or anything. I didn't think that was something in this game, but when I was younger, it's not something I would have paid much attention to anyway.
The end.
We will wait. I'll probably leave the chemist alive if possible. Okay, yeah, you're too low for me to actually hit. I can move over there, but I can't get through the water because the water gives you a movement penalty, if I remember correctly. So what I'll do is I'll move right here, and we'll just chant on Clive here.
This should help.
There we go. Take a little baby heal. Thanks for the Squire job level.
Right.
Okay. Rush, Throwstone. Obviously, I can't move to your back because of the movement penalty. So we're just gonna stab you from the front. Nice. Okay, so what I want to do now, you're probably gonna think looks a little bit wild, but Delita is going to try to kill this chemist as quickly as possible, and Delita will also steal the gems and stuff from me because he's a guest character. So we're gonna do a little bit of traitor stuff and stab Delita in the back until he gets knocked out. Sorry, Delita. But I don't want you messing up my optimal XP rates here. All right. So now that we've done that, Fundaments, I can chuck a stone at you. It will not hit. It might do too much damage to that character, and I don't want to kill them, so I'm just gonna chuck a rock at you. There we go. But yeah, you see we get XP and JP. The JP is basically what we spend to get new abilities and stuff, which is very important.
Now I'll show you.
Will you? Yeah, run away.
I'm not long for this earth.
Oh, wait, you will heal yourself. That's obnoxious. Okay, I think we leave the Squire alive, not the Chemist. The Chemist can go bye-bye. But yeah, you might see me in some battles prolonging things like this a little bit, just because it's important for XP rates. And you want to optimize XP in this as much as you can to reduce grinding. So this is just a way to optimize things a wee bit. Very important, I would say. Eat rock, nerd. Good. Now you need to go away. You need to go away for sure. So does it show when Edmund's turn is actually coming around? Because when their meter goes down, it's dictated by where their turn is in the timeline. So I believe that's how it works. So we do need to be careful with that. I'm just gonna hit you for a little bit of XP here, sorry. Don't mind me. And God, this Chemist is sitting in a perfect spot. They don't actually show the thing with Delita. Before they had like little stars that would show up over their head to show you that a guest was, you know, effectively knocked out. But Delita can't disappear like other people can, so don't worry about that. Delita's in no danger. let's say. I might just throw a rock at Ramza. Yeah. But the people will be disappearing soon, and we will be good. And I want to show that, obviously, because it's important. There's my last potion with my chemist, so...
I've learned a great deal.
Thank you, Rihanna. Oh, are you also throwing a stone at me? Oh, wow, you do more damage than I do. Owie. That hurt. Oh, wow. Yeah, see, there's the crit sound.
I can do this.
That was a crit. How much will that do? 8? Okay, 4 is fine. I'll take that. Okay. Get out of there, because I don't want you to die, if I can help it. And just keep beating up on the chemist as well. Thank you. Fundaments. I'll throw another stone at Ramza.
I even surprised
Level up.
myself.
Good. Edmund disappeared forever, leaving behind a treasure chest. Units becoming chests. When all of the hearts above a KO'd unit have disappeared, it may change into a chest. The unit cannot be revived even after battle. When a unit moves to a tile containing the chest, it will acquire an item. If the deceased unit was a human, the chest will contain one piece of its equipment chosen at random. So this can be very, very nice for getting equipment off of characters that you wanted, basically. Which is fine, you know, good often, a lot of times. Currently, it's not that big of a deal because they don't really have any equipment that I want. But I can use it to sell for money, which is nice. So, we're just gonna go ahead and murder you. Never mind, you dodged with a 5% chance. Kennard disappeared forever. Give me that. Dagger. It didn't mention anything about crystals. Did they take the crystals out? That would be wild if so. Because, yeah, the crystals didn't come up at all. But the crystals are a big part of things. I'm just gonna box you in if you don't mind. And I'm gonna throw a rock at you. Hello.
Dead yet?
You can't hit them, right? Oh my god, you can.
Not a scratch.
Ooh, nice dodge! Okay. Allison disappeared forever, leaving behind a crystal. That's what I want. When all the hearts above a KO'd unit have disappeared, it may change into a crystal. The unit cannot be revived even after battle. Other units can collect these crystals by moving to the same tile. If the unit is one of yours, you will be presented with one or both of the following options. Acquire abilities. Learn the deceased unit's abilities that were transferred to the crystal. Restore HP MP. Fully restore HP and MP using the life force contained. So yeah, it can be a free heal, basically. Or it can be something else. So, I really wish it was View Battlefield. That's the button. You gotta press X to do it. So, who do I actually want to get this? You're my other option, and you're not as good. So, yeah, we're gonna give it to you, Clive, because you'll probably be like a physical attacker for me. Acquire abilities. Acquiring abilities from crystals. If you choose to acquire abilities from a crystal, one or more abilities will be displayed, chosen at random from the deceased unit's abilities. However, only abilities that can be learned by the unit claiming the crystal will be shown. All the abilities listed will be acquired. Wait, all of them? I thought before you had to pick one. I didn't know it was all of them. That's pretty crazy. So yeah, these are basically free, so I will acquire these. Foundational learning complete. Secession of Power complete. I don't know what those things are. Is it just tutorials? Is it achievements of some sort? I don't know. But
Give up.
now we can basically finish them, I think. I'm not going to wait for the other body to disappear, just because that would take a few more turns, and I probably don't need to min-max that much. So we will just kill both of the enemies now that we've done that. They can go bye-bye now. We've also gotten a pretty good amount of XP and things, so that is quite nice. This is going to be a long first episode, but it's important, I feel, and I wanted to do 2 battles.
Confound it.
Confound it.
Why persist in such folly? Honest work would see them die old in bed. Yet they choose instead this early grave.
I don't know, it seems like a lot of them were deserters, Ramza, and the honest work, quote-unquote, which was them being soldiers for the crown, kind of screwed them over, so they wouldn't really have a bed to die in. Greatest contribution. Oh, yeah, the MVP award. Thanks, Miles. But you can see we got $2,500 dues, a mithril knife, a phoenix down, and a potion. Those are our spoils that we get. God, it's gonna be so fun playing this. It's gonna be so fun.
Barbaneth Beowulf, a great hero who had attained the distinguished title of Knight Gallant, approached the hour of his death.
The Beowulf Manse in the waning days of the 50 Years' War.
What news of the war?
The Order has struck a great blow. Limbri is ours once more.
Zalbag!
'Tis but a matter of time ere the Ordalians withdraw from Seltenia. All goes as planned, Lord Father. Be not troubled.
The envoy dispatched to treat with Advocate Lenario returned this night past.
There's Ben Starr. Hey Clive / Dorian from Data Everything / Verso from Clair Obscure.
He has agreed to your proposal, Lord Father. Good. Very good. Then the war will die with me.
Barbaneth is a different name, I feel. I feel like your name was Ballbeans earlier? Like Balbanes? I wanted to say that was your name.
Father.
There now, Alma. Do you want my last memory to be of your tears?
Where is that Ramza? He should be here at your side.
Zalbag, Dystag, you are dear to me. But Ramza is no less so, though he be not the issue of the womb that bore you, my sons. Still my blood courses through his veins. Watch after him.
Ah, we're doing the thing where my brothers are gonna bully me because I'm a bastard.
Lord Father!
You forget yourself, Ramza. You have come. Good. Let me look upon your face once more.
Yeah, move out of the way.
Lord Father.
How long has it been? You've grown into a fine young man. I would hear of your studies. You've been at the academy since spring, is it?
Yeah, I did a bunch of murder today.
Hear me, Ramza. For generations, we Beowulfs have stood foremost of those who serve the crown. Ours is the soul of the knight. Become a knight worthy of your name. Tolerate no injustice. Stray not from the true path. You will know the path you must walk. A Beowulf can walk no other.
I will not fail you, Father.
Your friend, Delita. He is a good boy. He is low-born, but he can serve you well.
I don't want to look at my friendships as someone that can serve me well, though, Father.
I've made arrangements for him to enter the academy. You should have seen the look on the headmaster's face. In the years ahead, you will need someone whom you can trust. You could do far worse than Delita.
Interesting, considering we saw Delita in the previous cutscene kidnap the princess that we were supposed to be protecting.
As you say, Father.
Take care of your sister. Show these brothers of yours what it is what it is to be a knight.
I'm sorry, Dad. I don't really like the knight class. Oh, I didn't know there was going to be more dialogue there. Whoopsie. Those are like your dying breaths. But yeah, sorry. I don't really like the knight class, Father. I apologize. There we go. Yeah, I did not realize there was gonna be some death noises there. Alright. Main menu. Pressing start while on the world map opens the main menu, which contains the following: units, view party members and change their equipment, abilities, and so on. Inventory, check the items in your possession. Chronicle, learn about the world and story. First, try opening the main menu and visiting the unit screen, where you may equip your party with weapons and armor and assign abilities. From the unit section of the main menu, you may use Set as Favorite to have your favorite units appear at the top of the list. That is quite useful. New stock available at the Outfitter. The unit screen. On the unit screen, move the cursor to a unit and press A to view its status. From there, you may learn more about the unit, equip it with weapons and armor, learn and assign abilities, change its job, and more. You can change the order in which your units appear by pressing X to move them one at a time. Units can also be registered as favorites. So, usually what I would do is I would sort enemies, or sort my units by just like the highest level and stuff. But here's where we would probably want to pick most of the units that we want to use. And something weird about this is as the story progresses, your max amount of units that you'll be able to send into combat will change. So there will be times where I'll have 5 backup units, and there will be times where I only have 4 backup units. So that's something that we need to keep in mind a little bit. But basically now is where we're going to pick favorites, effectively. Clive, pretty good. You're going to be moving over here. Miles, you can stay. Gawain, you're going down here. And Rihanna needs to be moved up. So these are 3. Then we have Concessa. And Alienor and Gawain, I'm not as crazy about. One, because they don't have XP, but also because their bravery and faith stats are just worse. So, as you can see, Ramza just has base 70 bravery, 70 faith, so you can kind of take Ramza whichever direction you want. But this faith stat is going to be important for Rihanna here. But alright, with that...
Yes?
Yes. From unit status screen, you can equip it with weapons and armor, assign abilities, or learn new ones and change its job. You can also create combat sets, combinations of a unit's job, equipment, and abilities that can be saved and reapplied later. That's quite nice. That is quite nice. There is something I actually want to do really quickly. Is it here? I wanted to, I guess. Oh, options is up there. Yeah, let's remove you from
Making
favorites.
preparations.
No. RT. Here you can view all equipment and consumable items. Chronicle provides a wealth of knowledge that allows you to deepen your understanding of the world and history. We'll probably be reading some of this. Options screen. So what I wanted to do here is, since they're talking a little bit, oh, can you only change the voice? That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. You can only change the voice language from the main menu, it looks like. Interesting. There's job change optimization. Oh, I know what that is. Yeah. Alright, so yeah, I can't change any of that without going back to the main menu, it looks like, but maybe I'll put on Japanese just to hear them a little bit in one episode or something. Or like once I'm in post-game, change it to Japanese to hear everybody. But alright, let's look at people's skills. So equipment, you currently have a broadsword, leather cap, clothing, and battle boots. I could give you the mithril knife, which sturdy, well-balanced knife, forged from the feather-light material known as mithril. So, it's not really any different than a broadsword, but it's a dagger. So it's a dagger that's as good as a broadsword. So, that can stay there. We don't really have much else in the way of equipment to put on. Ramza does have battle boots, which raise my movement stat. If we try to unequip them, yeah, you can see my movement goes up there. So I would have 4 naturally, but we put it up to 5 with that. Job. So I could take you off of Squire and make you any of these classes currently. Also, okay, it does tell you the level requirements. Cool. So we can see all of these other classes. I could change some things around and then become some of these classes. There are many of them. Many classes. It is interesting that it shows all of them so far. What I think I want to do with Ramza, because I've never gone a mage Ramza route, and that kind of interests me just because everybody goes a very specific route with Ramza. So I'm kind of interested in going a mage route. Like, that would be kind of neat to me, just because I've never done it before, really. And Ramza does have fantastic faith, so it would not be terrible. The only problem with that is Ramza would then be squishier for it. So I don't think I'll do that. Possibly what I'll do, especially since the game is going to be harder, is I may go the route that most people would expect. So I make you a knight. Let's see equipment and abilities. So I want to put on some things here, probably. Where do I actually learn skills? Learn new abilities. Yeah? Learn ability. Oh, you have to go here. Interesting. Alright, so this is what I wanted to see. Unit's ability screen, you can spend that unit's job points to have it learn new abilities. Once a unit has learned an ability, it must be assigned to the unit from the status screen before it can be used or its effect can be activated. There are 4 categories of abilities, each with different purposes. Action abilities, grouped by job command, used for attacking and healing. Reaction abilities trigger automatically, such as when being attacked. Support abilities provide helpful effects that are always active. Movement abilities, special effects related to how a unit moves. You can freely assign one ability from each category. Alright. So, focus. It's not called accumulate anymore. So there are a few very important skills that I want to get here. Focus being one of them. Increases one's own physical attack power for the duration of the battle, and you can use this wherever you want. It's free, it doesn't cost MP or anything like that. So you can basically just increase your stats while you're just sitting there. This is also a good alternative to having to do the thing that I've been doing, where you like attack an enemy or heal somebody to get XP. You can just use this instead, because it gives you XP and you get a benefit from it, which is quite cool. Tailwind, words of encouragement that increase the speed of a distant unit for the duration of battle. So this is basically like focus, except it gives you more speed, which is nice. This is a special ability that can only be learned when an enemy unit uses it on one of your allies. Oh, that's weird. Huh. So other things, reaction abilities, counter tackle. Upon receiving a physical attack from an adjacent unit, counterattacks with an ability equivalent to rush. So this just gives me a reaction, and like I said, bravery does dictate like your chance of that happening, basically, as far as I understand. Allows the unit to equip axes regardless of any job. This is usually on a lot of the classes, because it basically lets you use different weapons with other classes, because we are limited what weapons we can use for each class. But if you have something like this, I could play it as like a monk and still equip an axe. Beastmaster adds a hidden ability to all allied creatures and neighboring tiles with an elevation difference of up to 3. Adds the evasive stance command, which greatly increases the unit's physical and magical parry and evasion rates until next turn. That is interesting. I don't even recall this. Increase the amount of JP and job XP earned in battle. This is mostly what I want, as well as movement +1. Both of those incredibly important, because movement is incredibly important in any tactical game. I think I want JP boost most. It's also 250. God, that sound is so satisfying. But yeah, so other than that, what I want is focus, tailwind, and probably movement +1. I don't know how long I'm going to have Ramza stick with this class, but like I said, different classes. Job summary. Serves as a foundation for all other jobs or techniques unique to Ramza. Metal provides, cannot equip axes like standard squires, but can equip robes. Select abilities. Does it say? It doesn't say what your growth stats are, which is unfortunate. It says like all the equipment and everything that you can use, but it doesn't say what your growth growth stats are. But JP boost is a very, very important one, because you just, you know, get more JP and things from combat. So what I do need to do is actually equip that. So put on JP boost, and then I can decide what secondary things I want. Arts of War, aim, enables attacks that deal damage proportionate to the time spent aiming, range is that of the equipped weapon. So something I'm curious about with this is that they fixed this. Because the archer abilities notoriously sucked. Like, they were awful. And I've seen some mods and stuff that fixed them. And archer is like a class that I really like, but obviously I would need it to do a better job. Enables the use of abilities that destroy equipment or devastate attributes. Range is that of the equipped weapon. So this is the knight abilities, archer abilities, white mage abilities, and black mage abilities. I think I'm just going to put this on Ramza. It says you don't have the requirements to do any of that, but as we can see, Ramza has some JP on these classes. Just by default, basically. And you also kind of get JP from other classes just by having people with those classes in the party as well. So you do get some residuals, basically. So we're going to learn some things. The most important things I want to learn are Phoenix Down and Potion. There's some other nice things on here, like Auto Potion. Upon receiving damage, use a potion from the inventory to restore one's HP. Prioritizes the use of potions of lower potency. There's Re-equip. Prevents items from being destroyed or stolen. Allow the unit to throw items with the item command within a range of 4 tiles like a chemist, even if using a different job. And allow the unit to discover items hidden on tiles upon moving on them. The probability of finding rare items is increased for chemists. So that's all I want to get right now for that. We can see all the other things here. Yeah, so Rin speed, power, magic. These are interesting. I never really use these. I don't know if there is a situation where you would want to use them. It usually feels better just to attack someone rather than decrease their stats. And these things basically destroy people's equipment, which can be phenomenal, but they have a pretty low chance of actually hitting. Block physical attacks received. This is useful because it allows you to equip heavy armor on any class, which is cool. But we're not changing to that. Archer, this is what I want to see. That's rough. I don't think they fixed it or changed it or anything. Like I said, mods that I've played for Final Fantasy Tactics gave archers more interesting abilities. Because yeah, currently their abilities are just you wait even longer before you shoot. Basically, just wait a really long time before you shoot. Which can be really, really hard to pull off sometimes, because if the enemy moves before you actually get your shot off, it just misses. But they're there, I suppose. These are really good. Speed Surge, upon receiving damage, increase the unit's speed, increase the evasion rate against arrow and bolt attacks. Equip crossbows, ignore the target's physical evasion, ensuring that physical attacks always hit. And jump +1, so not really much there I want to grab either. We can look at white mage and black mage later. But that is everything there. And I did equip everything that I wanted to equip there. We can use items now. So now we can go through these things pretty quickly, I think. So, job. Clive here is bravery. I probably want to learn some of your skills here. I think I want to save up for JP boost, actually. So you're going to stay a squire for a little bit. You're going to stay a squire, Miles. Everybody wants the JP up. Rihanna, job, yeah, don't really have much. See, I love so many of the designs for the characters here, like the female archer and the knight and stuff. They're so cool. Let's see, equipment abilities. You probably have some fundaments to use, but yeah, I mostly want you to get the JP up.
You called?
You have 228, which is nearly enough to learn the good thing, but not enough, unfortunately. So we'll keep working on that. And then these two we don't really have to do much with. Now the other thing, you just have a dagger, so I'm going to give you a mithril knife instead, so you're a little bit more even. And like I said, I am just going to give everybody items currently because aim and arts of war don't really do anything for me right now. So everyone's just going to be sticking with items and fundaments for the most part, which I do want to make sure. Clive, what do you have? You know potion? Oh, you actually know a few. Nice. And you know potion, you don't know Phoenix Down, which is kind of a pain. But you know antidote of all things. Alright, but yeah. These things we can work on. Chemist, what all do you have? You have the two important things, so I think I just want to save for possibly auto potion. Treasure Hunter doesn't really come up that much in my opinion. There's a few instances where it's kind of useful, but... Alright, I forgot to give you that. Job. Squire, yeah, we don't need to do anything there. Okay. Okay, I think we're done here for the bit. I'm gonna be keeping everybody in their current classes just so they can grind up a little bit longer. But, yeah. Now, let's go to the Outfitter. Each settlement on the world map offers a range of amenities. You can visit the Outfitter to buy or sell equipment items, the tavern to hear the latest rumors, or the Warriors Guild to recruit new units and change the names of your party members. So, yeah, this is where you get units, this is where you get gossip and stuff, and this is where you outfit for equipment. In the cities and castles of Ivalice, you will find outfitters, establishments where weapons, armor, accessories, and consumable items can be bought and sold. Stock available differs according to the type of settlement, and new goods may be added as the story progresses. So you gotta check in.
Take as long as you need.
Oh, this music. Yes. Alright. Fitting option allows you to equip a unit with multiple pieces of gear before deciding to purchase them. You may also choose to keep the new gear equipped upon purchase. So buy this, and we can pick optimal fitting. Unit's current gear is equal to or better than the selected stock. Okay. So, they don't really have much for us. I think the only real reason to come here right now, I could get you a broadsword. We might have one just hanging out somewhere.
Will that be all?
Do we have a spare broadsword? We do not. We have a bowgun, an oak staff, and a rod.
May I be of after aught in particular?
Interesting that we have that. You don't sell any accessories, but what you do sell is a bunch of potions. So let's buy a few Phoenix Down.
Anything.
And then buy, I'm not even joking, 98 potions. Because these are gonna be my grinding material, alright? You must understand. We can get rid of these two daggers that we got. Oh, I have a shield. Interesting. Oh, I do have a leather helm as well. I don't think anybody can equip that, though. Do also have leather armor, so they did give me some, like, basic stuff. Unfortunately, you don't sell battle boots.
Further assistance. I await.
Alright, bye-bye. And then we can look at the tavern really quick. Taverns are prime locations for gathering information and listening to rumors. Pay one visit and you might learn things to which few others are privy.
Welcome. Make yourself at home.
Alright. Give me some rumors.
Of course.
The Corpse Brigade. So we'll try to read some of these at like the end of an episode and stuff for people that don't care, but I want to absorb as much of the lore as I can. Brigandry is on the rise across the land, and Gariland has by no means been spared. Wains are struck and pillaged, high-ranking officials taken at sword point. Most of the incidents of this past 6 months are believed to be the work of a company of felons and former sellswords known as the Corpse Brigade. It is oft said the only good brigand is a dead brigand, and the Order of the Northern Sky would like naught more than to see the brigade made corpses for true. But as yet, it is all the knighthood can do to keep the outlaws in check. The health of King Ondoria III has been subject to concern since his collapse at the birthday celebration of Prince Orinus. The Board of Chamberlains has since announced that the king has regained consciousness and his fever is broken, but will yet require no less than 3 weeks of quietude and bed rest in order to recover. Many speculate that it may be some months before the king resumes his official duties. However, Queen Luveria and her retainers have long been in charge of most affairs of state, and thus few problems are anticipated during the king's absence. 50 Years' War, the thing we've been hearing a lot about. The half-century of conflict between Ivalice and Ordalia is today known as the 50 Years' War. The beginning of the 50 Years' War can be traced to the death of Ordalia's King Devane III and his failure to name a successor. His cousin, Voroy VI, was next in line for the throne. However, King Denamda II of Ivalice, the uncle of Devan III, proclaimed himself the rightful heir and declared war on Ordalia. So yeah, there's like a little bit of like a, I don't want to call it a schism, I suppose, but it reminds me of the schism in like, you know, Reformation era Europe, where it's like, you know, there's a fight for succession, basically. However, this was merely a pretense to justify the invasion of the neighboring Ordalian province of Zelmonia. Formerly an independent state, it had been annexed by Ordalia nearly a century prior. Ivalice had since been aiding the province in an effort to weaken Ordalia through increasingly severe oppression and political purges enacted by the Ordalians stifled Zelmonia's bid to regain independence. Tired of Ordalian rule, the Zelmonian leadership and nobility secretly petitioned Ivalice to take a more direct hand in their liberation. After a victory in Zelmonia, the Ivalician armies marched on the Ordalian capital of Voira. As fate would have it, Denamda II succumbed to fatal illness on the road. The momentary confusion amongst Ivalice's troops gave Ordalia the opportunity it needed to regroup, and Voroy VI succeeded in pushing the Ivalicians back as far as Zelmonia. The resulting impasse would not be broken until the Romandan army's invasion 2 years hence. Romanda, a powerful military state lying across the Rana Strait, marched on Ivalice at the behest of Voroy VI, a blood relation of the Romandan nobility. However, Denamda II's successor, Denamda IV, was a fearless warrior, personally leading his men into battle against the combined might of Romanda and Ordalia. This, along with an outbreak of the Black Death in Romanda, forced the Romandan army to withdraw after 3 years. Wow, the Black Plague, even affecting Ivalice. Two military orders worthy of particular mention in this conflict are the Order of the Northern Sky, led by the young Barbaneth Beowulf, who would later claim the title of Knight Gallant, and that of the Southern Sky, led by Sidolphus Orlandu, known also as the Thunder God, for good reason. After countless victories at home, these two orders had been poised to advance into Ordalia. However, the protracted conflict had begun to take its toll on domestic morale. Peasant uprisings and revolts throughout Ivalice and Ordalia forced both countries to send their troops home to pacify their own citizens, resulting in another stalemate. Yeah, it's almost like sending average people's families away and having generations of kids die just because two political figures are having petty squabbles is not a good idea if you want to keep morale up. It was Denamda IV's sudden death by malady that broke the stalemate, although some claim that he was murdered. His successor, Ondoria III, was ill-suited to the throne, and left the governing of Ivalice to his queen and retainers. Without Denamda IV's leadership, the armies of Ivalice had little prayer of preventing Voroy VI's successor, Prince Leonard, from defeating the troops stationed in Zelmonia and advancing into Ivalice proper. Despite the valiant efforts of the Northern and Southern orders, Ivalice failed to repel Prince Leonard's invasion of Zeltenia. Ivalice's leaders soon began looking for a peaceful alternative. In the end, both states agreed that prolonging the war would prove mutually detrimental, and a pact was signed allowing each nation to return to addressing domestic strife. An equal peace in name, in reality, it was a defeat for Ivalice. The economy of Ivalice was brought to the very brink of ruin as it struggled to pay reparations to its former enemies and to repay the loans taken from neighboring states to fund its war effort. Soldiers returning from the front found themselves without pay, and entire orders of knights were summarily discharged from service. The swelling ranks of the unemployed did little to relieve the people's distrust of the crown and the nobility, because they mismanaged the absolute hell out of the war, it sounds like. But yeah, Ivalice had been aiding the province in an effort to weaken Ordalia. Through those increasing severe oppression and political purges enacted by the Ordalians stifled Zelmonia's bid to regain independence. So Zelmonia wanted independence, was seeking help from Ivalice, but then the Ordalians just came down even harder on purging them and like dealing with dissent.
Thank you.
Some interesting political stuff going on in the tavern. This is something that I never read as a kid because it was too much reading, but it's very, very interesting to read now because there's many, many parallels to draw throughout like history and stuff. So alright, incredibly long first episode. I need to save the game. We are going to end now, so hope you enjoyed this first episode of me being stupid excited, and I'll see you next time for some more.